Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to today's pick a card reading. Today we are looking at what it would be like to have a heart-to-heart conversation with a person on your mind. And I intended this reading to cover no contact and low contact situations where you may find the communication to be lacking or kind of confusing. But of course, if that is not your situation, however, you still feel drawn to this reading or one of these cards, you do you. You can of course still watch the reading, and there is technically no limit to like what situations it can cover. So you do you. And anything else? Oh, there will be an extended, which is linked down below, and I have also described it in the readings. I filmed them already, but there will also be a link down below and a description of the readings at the link. And personal readings are also available. You can find the link for that down below as well. So I think that's all I have to say for today. And thank you for watching the introduction. I mean, it's also okay if you don't. When I watch tarot readings, most of the time I don't watch the introduction, to be honest. So I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. But anyway, you won't hear me say this if you're not watching it anyway. So I will now actually leave you to focus on which card calls to you the most, and I will see you soon. Hello, my beautiful pile ones, and welcome to your reading. Today we are looking at what a heart-to-heart conversation with the person on your mind would be like. And we are actually going to look at this card later on, so I will put it away for now. And we'll start with some oracle cards that I already pulled for you. But before we get into this reading, I will quickly recap what I said in the introduction if you skipped over it, which is perfectly fine. But I intended this reading to bring more clarity to situations, especially if you have a no contact situation or a situation where you're not communicating very effectively, or where it feels like there are a lot of undercurrents, a lot of things that are maybe unsaid or not really like on the surface. So, but even if you are not in a no contact or low contact situation and you feel drawn to this reading or this pile, it is also perfectly okay. You can check it out still, obviously. And yeah, in the end, take these messages as they resonate with you, and if they don't, just ignore it, click off. And yeah, let's get into this. So I first wanted to look a little bit at what the situation might be, so you can see if this is resonating for you. So we have fire to start off the reading. We have darkening of the light, earth above, fire below. And we have Virgo, I analyze. Fire placements could be significant, but they don't have to be, as well as Virgo as a placement or Virgo season could have been significant. If you're watching this at the time I'm posting it, we just left Virgo season. It could have been a significant time for this connection, but it is a timeless reading, so whenever it is for you. In any case, this is just for extra confirmation. So this is someone who is coming across a bit impulsive, and sometimes I feel that has been very thrilling, something that has been very fun sometimes, but I also feel it has gotten into the energy of the connection in a way where it may have manifested as a bit of a sabotage kind of energy. And I don't think that is something this person has been doing knowingly, but there is a tinge of something premature, something, maybe a scenario where this person's fears about what might happen, fears about things being messed up, fears about things being all burned down because maybe you were having a rough patch, you were having some conflict. There is kind of an all or nothing kind of mindset. at least in the context of relationships, at least in the context of intimacy, at least in the context of commitment. So I feel that this is someone who tends to ruminate and get ahead of themselves quite often. And when their mind races past them like that, their behaviors also speed up, so they act in ways that maybe come across a bit reckless, even though to them it might seem like, I thought about this, I thought this through, this is the only way to do this. So they act on it, but then they realize they've just been rushing because their mind is moving too fast. So they felt like they had to move too fast as well. And maybe that blocks the energy in some ways, or creates obstacles in the energy in some ways. I feel like this is a connection that has experienced at least a separation, or maybe a very difficult patch of like an almost separation. For some of you, you could be on a break with this person as well, not necessarily a full separation. There is a bit of that maybe this person has been triggering for you. Their behavior, maybe the things they have said, have also made you ruminate about yourself and your self-worth. It seems like this is a situation where maybe both of you have felt judged by each other or criticized by each other, even though I feel that neither of you has had bad intentions, or neither of you has wanted to criticize the other person. But there is a bit of like, you just have very different ways of doing things, or very different ways of connecting. I could see this being an anxious attachment and avoidant attachment style dynamic. It seems that you would have different ways of relating, and that may have sometimes felt like you are telling each other that, like, you are telling them they are doing things wrong, and they are telling you you are doing things wrong. And it's not that either has to be right or wrong, but if one of you has anxious tendencies and the other one of you has avoidant tendencies, these deeply rooted patterns can sometimes get in the way of us feeling safe in our relationships, and trusting our relationships, and trusting ourselves in relationships. So I feel a bit like neither person here has had bad intentions. I feel like neither person has wanted to hurt the other person. I think this person would first of all tell you that they really, really care about you, and they feel a lot about you, but they can't really understand some of their emotions and why they feel the way they do. You may have more insight than them, and I feel like this person is kind of open to kind of the more psychological aspect of things, even though they are coming through as someone who is more of like a, I like to show things, I like to show how I feel rather than talk about it. I like to do things with all this fire energy, because they are someone who feels very deeply, but they come across maybe as more stoic, because all of that fire is buried below this earth, this stone mask. That's what I'm hearing, stone mask. Like there is a sense of this person wearing a mask, but it's not with bad intentions. It's not with the intention of hurting you or hiding their true feelings for you. It is something that this person has just learned, is that maybe feelings get in the way of their life. Feelings are not that important, maybe. They may have thoughts kind of around these, and I think that is maybe a projection of this person actually feeling scared of being rejected or not being good enough. So it seems like they would maybe avoid the connection at the slightest inclination of conflict, or if you would express that you feel negatively about something they did, maybe this person would kind of just hide from that because they feel like you are telling them they're not good enough, even if that's not what you're saying. And this dynamic could also apply in the opposite way, where you might feel like this person's avoidance implies that you are not good enough. So there is a bit of a push and pull in the energies of triggering each other, but I also feel this connection has been an opportunity to dig deeper, to dive deeper, because with this darkening of the light energy, it seems like this person is feeling the pain. They're feeling the aftermath of what has happened in this connection. If there has been a separation, even if like you've kind of repaired that bridge, even if you've had several cycles with this person, even if it's been some time, I feel like this person still feels the aftermath of what they may have instigated in this connection, especially if that has to do with hurting you and creating disconnect between the two of you. I think they would tell you that they know you mean well, you meant well, and you weren't trying to tell them that they're not good enough, or you were not trying to reject them when you were expressing something that you disagree with, or a behavior that you didn't like. But it still seems to feel like an attack to this person at times, even if there is also an effort in like doing some introspection and understanding that it is not always an attack on them. And it is not you rejecting them if you express a negative feeling. It is them learning to deal with the fact that connections that run deep will not come as easily as connections that don't, connections that are more surface level. It is a process of realizing that like they're coming to see that the fact that you trigger each other does not have to mean that everything is doomed, or this is not a match, or you are just inherently incompatible. That you relate differently in relationships does not mean that this connection shouldn't have happened. And maybe there was a time where they were feeling so burdened by the triggers that this connection would bring them emotionally that they checked out. And I think this person feels it very deeply that they have hurt you. And I think it hurts them too that they've seen you hurting so much, because it seems for a lot of you this person has witnessed kind of how much you may have been hurting in this connection, especially if there was a separation or some kind of big conflict between the two of you. With this darkening of the light energy, it seems like both of you have had the opportunity to see your shadows, to see your own shadow and maybe each other's. And that's not necessarily something to avoid, but it's something to face. It's something to learn from. It can be a tool that helps you understand yourself better. And I think this person, maybe not on the most conscious level, but on some intuitive level, they would tell you that they see how this connection has been challenging them to grow and challenging their perspectives, their rigid beliefs about themselves. that they didn't even know they had. Because it seems like this person may have like long held beliefs about what relationships should be. Like they should be easy, they should be lighthearted. And they're not always lighthearted. Sometimes they're very difficult, even if it is a good match. And conflicts and arguments or disagreements do not necessarily mean, okay, this is completely wrong. And I'm not talking about a situation where there may be a dynamic verging on like just fully toxic and just completely draining with no like change. I don't think that is a dynamic we have here. It feels more like both of you, like especially with this Virgo energy, there has been opportunity to do introspection, and there have also been meaningful conversations between the two of you where you've seen like different ways of connecting with each other, or you've had the opportunity to repair or like tend to some wounds and issues. And I feel that this person would try to explain to you, if you could have a heart-to-heart, how deeply they feel for you. I think that is maybe one thing that this person really has a hard time with. And they would tell you that they see when they tell you directly, you respond better. Like you maybe understand them better. They feel like you respond more easily, more readily to verbal affirmations than maybe how they have been trying to express themselves before. And it's a bit of a matter of like this person, and this is a sidebar comment, but I feel like if you have like different love languages as this person, it's not that, I mean, it's not, if for example, you are more receptive to verbal affirmations, but this person seemingly is not maybe the most verbally expressive person, it's not necessarily just about this person becoming 100% super verbally expressive and only doing that, but it's about learning each other's language. Like if you, let's say, like you speak Dutch and this person speaks Italian, and then you just, you know, pick up a little bit of each other's language, and maybe there is a common language that you both speak as well, and you speak that sometimes, and sometimes you speak Italian, you know. So it's all about kind of that balance. And I feel like this person, I wanted to talk about this because I feel like this person is becoming more aware of that, whereas in the past maybe they could have thought, okay, we don't, like, if you don't see that I care about you, then what can I do? Because it seems like maybe they were offended, or they were feeling attacked when that wasn't your intention, and vice versa. It seems like both of you may have come to conclusions about your own selves within this connection when you didn't need to, because the way both of you have been showing up in this connection is a reflection of maybe past experiences that you have had, or how you may feel about yourself. I feel like both of you have been very vulnerable with each other, and your insecurities maybe have come out, or parts of yourselves that you may find more difficult to deal with, like individually. And I think this person would tell you that they accept you as you are. They accept you as you are, but maybe they don't always feel accepted by you. But I also feel like that has to do with their past triggers as well, and what they've learned from their past. Maybe they had a very critical parent or a caregiver that was very critical of them. or someone that didn't encourage softness in them, but more like resilience, but resilience in the sense of being more stoic to experiences in their life, and of being more practical instead and not getting so caught up in the emotions. But this connection, this person would tell you, has made them get caught up in the emotions, because inherently this is someone emotional. This is someone that runs deep emotionally, but that side of them has almost been like shaved off, or like not shaved off, but it's kind of like developed maybe rough edges, so it becomes more difficult to experience that softness that they inherently have. And maybe your tendency is to be more emotionally expressive at times, even if it's not always. And maybe that has been challenging to this person. I feel like this pile is a lot about patterns that both of you may have brought into the connection that may have triggered deep wounds, that may have made you relive the pain of some wounds. And I feel that if you've had a lot of cycles or like on and off with this person, with darkening of the light, it's kind of like a day ends and a new day begins. That's what it makes me think of. They would tell you that they know this has not been easy. They know you have been trying to sustain this connection. They know you don't mean to hurt them. But I think sometimes this person finds it difficult to feel deserving of love, feel deserving of your love, maybe in particular as well. And I don't think that's because you've like withheld that or done something that indicated that. But maybe this person, I think they would say that they really care about doing right by you, and a part of them knows that they haven't. And that internal judgment is maybe also projected onto how you might perceive this person because of what they've done. I think they are unforgiving, especially with themselves, but overall they may have a hard time processing things that they become upset about. It may be that this person acts like everything is fine, they feel fine, or maybe let's say you did something that hurt this person, or said something that hurt this person, and they kind of repress that instead of wanting to talk about it. Or if there is a conversation about it, maybe they don't talk about it enough, or they don't say everything they want to say. There is a bit of an energy of not everything being expressed, and maybe this person finding themselves in a bit of a resentful space at times because of that. And I feel like this may be a situation where both of you have hurt each other and have been hurt by each other. Again, not with bad intentions, but just that maybe challenge in overcoming self-limiting beliefs and past patterns that both of you may have brought into this connection. I'm not saying this to judge either of you. I feel like both of you have been very brave in this connection, in being vulnerable, being authentic, being yourselves, and like not afraid of having conflict. Because having conflict does not necessarily mean that it's all bad, but it more often than not means that you are being authentic to how you really feel. And you are connecting authentically with each other, even if it's not always perfect, even if it's not always just positive and just happy and just lighthearted. This person is very, very, very attracted to you. They think you are very beautiful, and they think you are very wonderful, and they think you feel so deeply they don't quite understand how. But it is fascinating to this person. They think you're very wise. They see the scars that you carry, and they think you are beautiful in all of your shapes, in all of your seasons. This is not someone who like would in any way look down on you, I feel. But I also think they've maybe acted impulsively in the past, and that has made you feel like this is not how this person sees you. And maybe that perception has persevered because of maybe the tendency of the human mind to kind of hold on to more negative beliefs rather than positive ones, because we want to protect ourselves from what may go wrong. And I think this person would tell you over and over again that they think you are wonderful. They really, really care about you so deeply. And if they have lost you, it has burnt them. It has like scorched them. There is a lot of intensity to this energy. But they know you have a good heart. They think you are so complex. They think you are so, I'm hearing weird. Like it's like weird, but in a playful way. It's like they don't fully get you, but they are so intrigued. They are so mesmerized by you. If you have like weird, not weird, but like if you have certain habits that may feel unusual, I think they really appreciate your uniqueness in that sense, or kind of the little quirks that you may have. If you are in separation, I think this person does miss you dearly, and I think they would tell you that they think about you a lot. And even if at times they avoid you, without you it's just not the same. Even if at times they've run from this connection, without you it just doesn't feel the same. That's what it feels like. This feels so deeply emotional. I feel like my chest is like just tight, like it's become more difficult to breathe. There is something very powerful about this connection, even if this person has a tendency to push their feelings away and repress them. They still feel it. They may not be looking at the fire, but they feel the heat from it. I want to get into the tarot now. I know this is meant to be a heart-to-heart conversation, but this feels so personal. I almost feel like I shouldn't be here, even though I'm the only one talking. But before we get into the tarot, I want to look at your oracle card. You are entering a deeply emotional time in which you ponder the deeper spiritual questions of life. This is a time of self-discovery that deepens your connection to Mother Earth, your friends, and family. At times your emotions may overflow, but this is a good thing, for these precious moments bring a great gift of healing. I think this person has been feeling very emotional about this connection, especially over the potential of damaging it further, especially over the potential of losing you or having lost you. I think this person has been thinking about like what this connection might mean, why this connection has appeared in their life, why this connection has come back in their life, how your paths crossed. I feel like there is something that feels inherently fated in some way, and I think this person has been thinking about that, and I think they would tell you that this feels, I'm gonna say weird again, but maybe it's because this person doesn't have like a lot of descriptions for their feelings. Like they feel them, but they don't know how to say it. So if they like something, maybe they say that's weird, you know? But I think they find it very mysterious, very intriguing, you and this connection. And if you are spiritual, maybe this person feels they have learned a lot from you about spirituality, and they've maybe felt more brave to explore their own spirituality. They would tell you that they feel they have been getting to know themselves better. And they feel like they know you so well, yet sometimes not at all, because you are so unpredictable sometimes. And that feels exciting to this person. They know you have been trying very hard to understand them, even if they have said things like you don't get them, you don't understand them, even if they've tried to push you away. They would say that sometimes they can't help it because they feel so overwhelmed by their feelings, and then when they witness yours, and they know they are caused, if your feelings have been caused by them, and if they are like negative or they've upset you, it feels very overwhelming to this person. They don't know how to deal with that. So sometimes it may be a bit delayed that they take responsibility for how they may have made you feel, because in the moment they may feel very triggered. They may not always have the space to hold space for you. And I think this person would tell you that they don't mean anything bad if they ask for space, but they also know, because of their behavior of maybe, or pattern of avoidance, and how you relate in connections, how you act in connections, they know it can be triggering for you too. But this person also seems to feel you have such a profound connection. Even if you have argued, or even if you are in no contact right now, maybe because the circumstances haven't been right, or there are other factors playing into this, but this person knows the connection prevails, that it's not lost, that the feelings are still there, that the connection is still there, no matter what the physical, practical aspects of the 3D may be. I want to get into the tarot now, and before we do, I will quickly talk about what we're looking at in the extended. We will look at the future of this connection, what you need to know about the future of this connection, and the energies that are shifting, changing within the connection for you and this person. We will get tons of channeled messages from this person. We'll get the cards, like these cards, and also the channeled messages from the message bag, and we will finish off with advice for you on how to navigate this situation or anything else that needs to be brought to your attention. And the link is down below. So let's get into this. Pile one, please, for my pile ones. What would this person say to my pile ones if they could have a heart-to-heart? We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Sometimes they feel like they're not good enough. They know they haven't always done right by you. They know sometimes they are immature. We have the Sun in reverse. Leo energy or season could be significant, but it doesn't have to be. I think right now they may have some changes going on in their life, or something that is also affecting their mood a little bit, because we have the sun in reverse, and I feel like there is a bit of a tinge of sadness to this. If you are in separation with this person, it could also have to do with this separation or this breakup, the situation that you are in with them right now. Bottom deck energy is the moon. We have the sun and the sun being in the reverse. It's making this seem more yin yang to me. I think this person feels that you flow really well when you flow really well. Like, your connection doesn't feel forced. They would tell you it all feels like it clicks together so naturally. But they also know their actions and this maybe dynamic of both of you working through your patterns at times has been very difficult, has been very overwhelming, has been maybe a bit distracting as well from the big picture. What would this person say if they could have a heart-to-heart? We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. They don't know if you see how beautiful you are. They don't know if you see how attractive you are. They don't know if you see how incredible you are, how inspiring you are. They don't know if you are as confident as they think you should be, objectively, because of who you are. This person thinks you are wonderful. They are so drawn to you. But they also feel that they have hurt you in that way. They have hurt your confidence. They have acted in ways that were immature, inconsiderate, that they can see it has affected you. Maybe things they've said or done. And they can see how. And they would tell you that they wish they could take it all back because they've just been kind of dumb with what they were saying, or they didn't mean it that way, but they used the wrong words, or it just seems like sometimes it's a struggle for this person to express themselves, or for them to predict how they may come across, which is difficult to do. We can't always know how we are going to come across, but I feel like sometimes this person, they're not the best with words sometimes. I'm hearing you have no reason to be insecure. You are beautiful, wonderful, incredible as you are. And they know they probably haven't told that to you enough. We have the Four of Cups in reverse. They would tell you that they feel a lot more than you may think, that you may assume they feel. They would tell you that they wish everything was simple, everything was easily resolvable. That you are on their mind a lot. We have the Fool. That you've made them feel alive. You make them feel alive. And it's kind of an energy of like, yes, we haven't always been like super happy. Yes, we have had difficult times in this connection. But you have made me feel so connected. You have made me feel so alive because I have felt so much with you. Like all kinds of emotions. Aries energy or season could be significant. Can we clarify the Fool, apparently? Okay, can we clarify the Fool? What would this person say? We have 9 of Cups in reverse. part of them would tell, like, they would tell you a part of them is just like, would be like, F it, like, let's just run away from everything together. There is an energy of maybe also external factors being part of this situation. Like, it's maybe not just to do with self-limiting beliefs, but maybe there is an external factor, like maybe work, maybe distance, maybe a third party. If this is the case for you, you would know. So please don't be alarmed if that is not your situation. I'm just giving examples of what factors could be at play. Can we clarify the Four of Cups in reverse? What would this person say? We have the Six of Swords in reverse. They would say they don't want to keep repeating the same patterns. They don't want to be stuck in a cycle of just repeating patterns of hurting each other when you could be looking for, like, there is a bit of a tinge of like this person feeling like things could have been resolved at a better time, but it's like a bit of maybe regret that they said certain things or acted in certain ways or made certain decisions that they feel instigated more complexities in this connection and maybe created more blockages in this connection. Can we clarify the Queen of Wands in reverse, please? We have the King of Cups. They would tell you again that they hold you to such high regard, but they also know sometimes they're a bit reserved with their feelings. And that's not because they don't want you to know, it's because it just doesn't come naturally to them. So it's not because they want to be sneaky, it's not because they want to hide, it's not even because they are like shy about how they feel necessarily, it's just because it doesn't come naturally to them. So I feel like they would tell you that they have been trying, that they have tried within this connection, but they also feel that maybe they have made you feel hesitant about yourself in certain ways, or the dynamic maybe. And they would say that they think it shouldn't. We have the Wheel of Fortune. They would tell you that with you by their side, everything has felt possible. Everything has felt more positive. Especially when you have had like good times, especially when you have just been yourselves. They would tell you that they understand this connection has maybe not always felt safe. But they would say that they feel like they really know you, ins and outs, even if they're still surprised sometimes by things you may be interested in, or They have loved every version of you, even if they have not always seen it. And even if they have not always been able to show it. Fixed signs could be relevant, or the seasons of any of these signs with the Wheel of Fortune coming out. So Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. I feel like mentioning Sagittarius for some reason as well. Leo, and which one are we missing? Scorpio. And we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. Yeah, they would say sometimes they find it difficult, they have found it difficult to not feel attacked or like fully really interpret what you are saying when you're expressing feelings to them. Because it is a bit of a wound, I think, that they feel they fear they're not going to be good enough, that they're going to be rejected. And maybe at times they have felt rejected by you. They would tell you that they want to feel like they are good enough, but it's not always easy to not get in their head about it, or to not let things get to them, or circumstances in their life maybe. But we have the King and the Queen of Cups coming out. So their feelings, they would tell you that they care about you so deeply. It just feels like you just have different ways of communicating that to each other. So from their perspective, they find it difficult to see how you feel about them sometimes, to really understand how you feel about them sometimes. And maybe they also realize for you it's the same but reversed, that you, like, the way they express themselves feels upside down, for lack of a better way of saying it. Is there anything else that wants to come through for my pile ones? Anything else? What else would this person say if they could have a heart-to-heart? The Nine of Wands. They still hurt over what happened. They still think about it. And they do miss you. They do wonder about you. You are on their mind a lot. Is there anything else? Give this 3 more shuffles. Otherwise, we're taking it to the extended. All right. On this note, this is all I have for you for the main reading. We will now take it to the extended. I will see you there if you are meeting me there, and if not, I am already sending you tons of love. Take care and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile twos, and welcome to your reading. Today we are looking at what the person on your mind would say to you if you could have a heart-to-heart conversation with them. We are not going to start off with this card. We have some oracles to get through first that I pulled for you, and we will start by looking at kind of what the situation might be. And before we get into this reading, I will also mention I intended this to be more focused on no contact situations, or a situation where you may have low contact or kind of unclear, confusing contact, like essentially just a situation with difficulties and blockages in communication. But if that is not your situation, yet you still felt drawn to this reading or this pile, that is still okay, and there may still be a message for you. It is up to you and your intuition. but we will start off by looking at the energy, and you can see if this resonates with you or not. So starting off, we have midday. But when I first saw this, I saw the word muddy. So this could indeed be quite a confusing, complicated situation that has maybe left you ruminating for a long time, that has maybe been affecting your energy for a long time, because it seems like it has been very impactful, not just for you, but for this person as well. Although I feel like that part of the situation is maybe in a bit of a fog to you. You may not be fully aware of the effect this situation has been having on this person, maybe because you're in no contact, but also maybe because they're not very open about it, or in general open about what's really going on within them. We have Black Moon, Lilith, Mystery. I think this is a situation where a lot has been unsaid, really. So it could be that there were already difficulties in communication in the past of this connection, or a lot could have changed since you fell out of contact or started having difficulties in communicating, because I feel like there is a bit of like this person could have said one thing and then did another, or they could have set certain expectations but then done something completely different in the connection. And we also have Deliverance, which is the number 40 and also has the words thunder above, water below. If you could have a heart-to-heart with this person, and I will start off by saying I think it is quite difficult for this person to have a vulnerable conversation, because I think they are very scared of being vulnerable, and specifically they are very afraid of being hurt, and if they are vulnerable, they're putting themselves on the line. So I think this is someone with a lot of fear coming into, they would come with a lot of fear into the conversation. But I also feel with this Black Moon Lilith energy, they are a bit intimidated by you. They are a bit intimidated by what you know about them, what you've seen from them. They're intimidated by what you may ask them. There is a very nervous energy that I feel maybe in reality they are quite hesitant to share with you, or they haven't shared with you at all. But this person is intimidated, and they are hiding. They are hiding from kind of the truth of the situation, and I think they are hiding from, in a way, the consequences of their actions. They would tell you that they are afraid to face what they have done, but there is a sense of, I don't know how to best describe the feeling, but it feels off. Like they feel off, maybe off balance, out of balance, because of experiencing the loss of this connection. Because this connection seems to have been something that they felt very positively about, which I think they would tell you that you have been good to them, but they realize they haven't been matching that energy. A part of them feels they would never be able to. And I think that is why this person might be used to going in and out of situations, like rushing in and then rushing back out when things get serious. Or when things start running deeper than like usual. Like the moment maybe there is talk of deeper commitment or feelings, I feel like this is someone that may kind of just back out from that. And I feel that they kind of put on a brave face. But if you could have a heart-to-heart, they would tell you that it's not real. It's not how they really feel. In reality, they feel quite scared and alone, which is why they try to fill their life with external things, with distractions. But in reality, they are afraid and they feel alone. And I feel like you were a companion to this person. You were there for them, but they took it for granted. Like, it seems like they took what you were offering for granted because they didn't know how they could ever possibly receive something like that. I think this is someone who feels deeply insecure, and they would tell you that they're not as confident as they try to come across. They try to come across that way because they are afraid of being rejected, of being not accepted, of not being loved. And they know you are offering them love. You are offering them deep connection. You are offering them warmth, safety. It's like they know you were doing your best. And I feel like they haven't said that to you. They haven't appreciated you. And if you could have a heart-to-heart conversation, I feel like they would have no choice but to tell you the truth, because it seems like too obvious almost. And maybe it took a while for you to realize kind of what could have been going on within this person, because I feel like there may have been a lot of illusions in this connection of maybe this person blaming you for something that they did, or blaming you for something you didn't do. There is a bit of like a mixed energy, a bit of a confused energy. For some of you, this could be like someone you have a child with, or someone you had a family with as well. But it's quite, they would tell you right now they're hiding because they feel very burdened by how they acted. And there is a bit of shame in like facing you. I feel like this person would tell you they've been scared to face you. They've been scared that you would ask them things that they can't answer, that they don't have the answers to, because they don't really understand themselves that well either. They would tell you that maybe you understand them better than they understand themselves, and that is scary to them because they don't like not having control. And they are afraid that they're going to one day, they're not going to be able to kind of be in this cycle of in and out and push and pull anymore. They're going to have to face the consequences of their actions. And I feel like this person feels like there are many situations in which they didn't really act right, and I'm hearing in an honorable way. Maybe that particular wording will resonate with some of you, but I'm hearing honorable. There is a bit of like judgment energy here. This person they would tell you that they feel haunted by what they did. And I feel that they would tell you they think you don't need them. You never needed them. And they wanted to be needed. But you could never need them because you are so powerful. It's that kind, like this person, I feel they almost kind of envy you. And that's why maybe they felt so drawn to your energy. They would tell you that they feel drawn to kind of the abundance that you have in your energy, in love, in light, because that is something that they feel they don't have. And it's not that this person doesn't have the potential to feel differently about themselves or to appear differently in situations, to choose differently in situations, but it's more so that they have been afraid to choose differently because they are afraid of change, and they're afraid of not being in control. And with change and unpredictable situations, one thing that is for certain is that they're not immediately going to be aware of exactly what's going on, and they're not going to be fully in control. And I think this desire for control comes from a place of this person not wanting to be hurt. Maybe they've experienced a lot of loss in their past, or a significant loss in their past that they never fully processed or got over. I also feel there is a bit of like an emotionally unavailable energy to this person. Like they would tell you they realize they haven't given you what you deserve and what you may have asked of them. And they would maybe tell you that they're just not that kind of person. But as a sidebar message, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think this person is and has just been afraid to do things differently, to try things differently, to maybe deal with their mental health, or to try to even become aware of their patterns, even though on some level they definitely are aware that they've been repeating very similar cycles of maybe getting close to someone and then sabotaging that in some way, or feeling afraid and running away before the situation can fulfill itself. And I feel that this person would tell you that you have made them very happy, but in the end, external happiness would have never been enough for this person. And sidebar, it is of course not your responsibility to ensure this person's happiness or to ensure that they are healing, that they are growing. You can of course be there with them, support them, but I feel like there was a bit of a dependent energy. Even if to you it may not have seemed like it, this would be someone who was very drawn to you, who would have kept coming back to you or kept their eye on you at the very least, because they felt so drawn to your energy. Not necessarily because they were like scheming or something, but because to them it was intoxicating, because your energy was so full and is so full, so radiant. And this person sees that as the opposite of them, and opposites attract. Like they are drawn to what they feel they are lacking. And I think they would tell you that regardless of how they may have made it seem, because if this person was pushing you away, they would have likely said things that they don't even really think about you. Like they may have told you, you're like this, you're like that, and not meant that at all. But I think they are not very careful with their words. I'm also hearing I should have chosen my words more carefully. There is a sense of regret over the fact that this connection has been lost, because it was something that made them happy, and they would tell you they realize it was them that pushed us away, even if they have told you a different story, or even if they have been telling themselves a different story. I think the reason they would be so adamant on telling themselves like I didn't do anything wrong is because they feel very strongly that it is the opposite. Because someone who actually believes they didn't do anything wrong would not need to try so hard to convince themselves of it. So I feel like they feel a bit stuck. They would tell you they feel stuck and like they're not really going anywhere, but going in circles instead. They would tell you that they feel you didn't deserve how they acted, yet they have known no other way of being. And again, sidebar, I'm not saying this or kind of reiterating this to excuse any way in which they may have hurt you. or like been unfair to you, that is still not okay. And I feel like for a lot of you, this person has not been accountable for that. Even though I think if you would have a heart-to-heart conversation, they would be. But their heart space, it seems quite blocked. It seems quite inaccessible even to them. I think they, while on some like level they have some awareness of how they feel, it's not so solid, it's not so settled in that if you just, called them in this moment, maybe they, wouldn't just pour it all out. It seems like there is a level of guardedness. And I think it comes from a place of fear and intimidation and not wanting to feel bad about themselves and not wanting to hurt for how they acted. They feel like they would tell you that it is maybe almost like better that, for you at least, that this separation or this divide has happened. And it seems a bit like I had to stop filming for a second because we were interrupted, but even the timing of the interruption feels significant, like almost like extra confirmation, because I was about to talk about how I think this person would tell you that it almost feels like divine intervention, or like you are protected in some way that this situation played out. Because it could have been for some of you that like you found something out about this person through what seems like a big coincidence, or like in a kind of unexpected weird way. Or it could also be that you had a very strong intuition about something and then you saw evidence of that. That doesn't have to resonate with every single one of you, but I feel like this person, I mean, of course, nothing has to resonate with every single one of you and take everything as they resonate with you, but there is a bit of like divine intervention energy to this. Like they feel almost like some deep wisdom was looking out for you, and they don't need to be spiritual to, or religious or anything along those lines. They could be, but it doesn't have to be that necessarily. I think they would just tell you that they feel like you are so powerful and kind of very intuitive in a way that scares them, again, because maybe you'll ask them for information they can't really give you, or you already know more about them than they know about themselves. They would tell you that it's not your fault what they did and how this situation played out. If this person ghosted you, it is because they couldn't find it in themselves to be accountable for what was going on with them. They were not brave enough to explain what was going on. They couldn't be fully honest, fully transparent, because they were afraid of facing it themselves. So they would tell you that they should have expressed themselves better, but in that moment, they felt like they couldn't, or in those moments, they felt like they couldn't. And of course, that's not an excuse to not learn or to not try, but I feel like they don't really see themselves as capable of doing things differently than how they have been. But they would tell you that they still feel haunted by how it played out. If they think about it, they still feel quite bad about how it played out. And that is why they try to keep thoughts of this situation away. But it is not as easy for them to get over as they may have made it seem like it was. They would tell you it's not that it didn't affect them at all, especially how they acted. It seems like they kind of put themselves in a position they didn't want to be in as well through their own actions. They would tell you that this connection has been important to their journey, but they also weren't ready for this kind of energy. So instead of maybe taking the opportunity of growth, of connection, they instead chose the other path, which was led by fear, which they were led into by fear. And the path itself, it seems to have led to like a wake-up call, a rude wake-up call. But they would tell you that they kind of want to go back to sleep. So I feel like within them there is a certain level of self-awareness and awareness around the situation, but it's buried quite deep and maybe blocked quite some ways. And that's why maybe it's difficult for this person to fully verbalize that or to act on that. It seems like they are aware of the fact that they have been avoidant and they haven't really properly taken responsibility for this situation or dealt with the aftermath. I'm hearing your feelings are valid. So for some of you, maybe this person has told you that what you feel is wrong or you shouldn't feel that way in this situation, but that's not what they really think. That's just what would maybe be more, would have maybe been more convenient for them or would have made this situation easier for them to deal with. Because I think they do feel bad about making you feel bad. And not showing up in the way that you could. I want to get into the tarot now. And while we are getting that ready, I will quickly mention, I'll quickly mention what we're looking at in the extended, and then we will also look at this oracle card before we get into the reading, the tarot part of the reading. But in the extended, we will look at what you need to know about the future of this connection and what energies are shifting in this connection for you and for this person. We will get tons of channeled messages from them, kind of like what we've been doing, but with the message deck instead and the messages from the message bag. And we will finish off with advice for you on how to navigate these energies. If you're interested, the link will be down below. And now let's read this card that we had in the beginning. You are a beautiful soul. Look within and you will see it. There is a pearl in your heart. Close your eyes and feel it. The most precious thing is inside you. Calm your mind, meditate, and you will feel your soul's infinite spiritual realm. In looking within, you will never go without. I feel like this talks kind of directly about what this person is unable to do or has been unable to do, I feel like they are quite resistant to going within, to looking within. And that's why they feel like they're without, the external is lacking. And that's why they try to fill that gap that they feel within them, that kind of unknown parts, the unknown part of them, or the parts of themselves that they've disconnected from. There is a sense of incomplete coming through in that sense. Like they maybe feel incomplete or unfulfilled, and that's why they become dependent on other things, whether these are people, situations, and whether this has been you. Because I feel like there is maybe like a dependency, or has been a dependency of this person feeling very validated through this connection, feeling very accepted, feeling very like kind of getting whatever positive feelings, positive energies that they wanted. And I feel like it wasn't happening in a fully reciprocated way. It feels like they were happy to take, but they weren't really able to match that energy. And I feel the reason for that is that, or why they maybe keep getting in dynamics like this, or maybe why they were in a dynamic like this with you, is that it's like being thirsty, like you don't have enough water in your body, so you just look like you don't think about it too much, you just kind of go for water. And I feel like that's kind of the way this is coming through, is that this person has been thoughtless and they've been a bit careless and inconsiderate in this situation. And I think on some level they are aware of that. And we're all capable of being unfair to others or hurting other people. But I feel where this person kind of took a different turn is that they were not taking responsibility, or maybe providing an explanation for their actions, or being accountable for their actions. And maybe that's more why this connection kind of went in a way where the two of you are kind of being driven apart, where it was becoming more difficult to sustain. So let's get into the tarot to see what else they would say to you if you could have a heart-to-heart conversation with them. For pile 2, please. For my beautiful pile 2s, what would this person say if they could have a heart-to-heart? What would this person say if they could have a heart-to-heart? We have the Page of Cups. They would apologize. I'm hearing the least I could offer is an apology. And maybe for some of you, this person has never communicated much after a separation, or within the moment of separation even. It seems quite sudden that maybe the situation came to a stop. We have the Fool and we have the Tower, which I was seeing a lot already while I was shuffling. Aries or Scorpio or Aquarius energies or season could be significant, but it's just for extra confirmation if you are looking for any. For pile 2, please. We have the King of Pentacles. They would tell you that they should have taken responsibility, but they don't. It's almost Like, you know, the Page of Pentacles in reverse. They just don't see themselves as that kind of person, which I'm not sure what exactly that is supposed to mean, in the sense that, yeah, maybe it's coming through as a self-limiting belief of like, this is the kind of cycle I always have to be in because this is just the kind of person I am. So maybe it is a bit of a self-limiting belief in that sense, that they are not meant for connections of a different kind, but they will keep kind of flowing in and out of connections instead because that's what they are built for. And I'm not saying that as like a prediction of the future, but I'm saying it as maybe that's how this person has felt in this connection as well, that it would inevitably come to an end because it is how they are and how it always has been. We have the King of Wands in reverse. Can we clarify the Tower? We have the Seven of Swords. We also have the Six of Cups and the Three of Swords. They would tell you that they try to avoid the pain of their past. You may know some things about their past. They may have had a difficult upbringing, or they may find themselves in a difficult situation, or they may have found themselves in a difficult situation, maybe even legally, is coming through. Maybe like being removed from somewhere, like maybe removed from a situation, or locked in a situation. There is a like, they would tell you that their life hasn't been the same since it went wrong in the past, and they haven't been the same. And maybe they haven't shared much about their past. And I'm not saying this to, like, again, excuse any way they may have treated you in an unfair way. But they may tie their behavior to certain things that happened in their past and certain beliefs they have developed, certain habits they have developed as a result of that maybe trauma or difficult situation that they were in. I think they are still very affected by their past. They would tell you that they're not over it. Can we clarify the Fool? What message? I saw the Two of Swords in reverse. They would tell you they're not as happy as they seem. They're not as confident as they seem. We have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. They would tell you that they feel a bit like an imposter, but they have to keep the act up. They have to keep up the act. They would tell you that you didn't deserve what they did, but they are sorry. I'm hearing, I wouldn't forgive me either. This person might feel a bit like their own victim, almost. That's what I'm hearing. They have fallen victim to their own behavior. They know they put themselves in this situation. I'm hearing, you offered me a way out, but I didn't take it. I'm also hearing I was scared and I was selfish and I had to walk away. We have the Eight of Cups, the Four of Swords, and we have the Emperor in reverse. Hearing I had no other choice. That's what I'm hearing. They may have truly felt that there was no other way, there was no other choice. Capricorn energy could be significant as well with the Devil coming out. Is there anything else? We have the Seven of Cups and the Eight of Wands in reverse. We have the Three of Swords and the Two of Cups in reverse. They do feel the loss of this connection. And they have been a lot more affected than what they may have shown. But they would tell you that they've been distracting themselves from it. I'm hearing, because how else could you go through that? How do you sit with pain? That's what I'm hearing. It almost is like they are a stranger to their own emotions because they're just so used to repressing everything. Is there anything else that wants to come through for my pile twos? Right, I think on this note, this is all I have for you for the main reading. We will take it to the extended now, and I will see you in a little bit if you're meeting me there. If not, that is perfectly okay. I hope this reading was helpful. I am sending you lots and lots of love. Take care, and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile threes, and welcome to your reading. Today we are looking at what it would be like to have a heart-to-heart conversation with the person on your mind. And we're actually going to look at this card later on, and we'll start with these oracle cards instead. And I will also say, if you skipped the introduction, which is perfectly fine, I will recap that this reading is, well, I'm doing it mainly for no contact situations. However, if you are in contact with this person but find it difficult to communicate with them, then this reading can also apply. Or if you just feel drawn to it anyway, give it a shot, and we'll see. But so I'm doing this, this was mainly inspired by that I've been asked a few times to do a no contact reading, so I wanted to do something more along those lines today. There will also be an extended, but we'll talk about that later on. So starting off, we have Elderhood. We have 11th house, Friends. This is Aquarius energy. Aquarius energy or season could be significant, but it doesn't have to be. It's just for extra confirmation if you're looking for any. And we also have the Well, water above, wind below. For a lot of you, I think this is going to be someone you have history with, you have had history with, maybe someone you knew a long time ago or have known for a long time. It seems like there's a lot of water under the bridge in this situation, and maybe this is more a case of like gradually fading out of contact rather than, or gradually fading into less contact rather than something very, rather than some kind of big conflict. It seems more like the energy fizzled out or faded. So to me, this feels a bit like a situation where maybe the connection never really quite became what you had in mind or what it promised to be. Because this person, they It almost seems like they may have been a bit wishy-washy or hot and cold. Like they would take one step forward and then take two steps back from you. It seems like the connection maybe was stalling, just going back and forth in the almost same space, and it wasn't really progressing. This could be for some of you a friend, a deep friendship that you had that never quite became committed. Because it seems like this person, their feelings are quite... It's not that they are repressed, because I feel like this person would not be someone who was necessarily not at all emotionally expressive or not at all emotionally obvious if they are someone who's not very verbal about their feelings. But it seems like this person would have made their feelings for you obvious, or their fondness for you obvious, or that they care about you obvious. I could also see this pile being related to a family member that you fell out with, or that you've had difficulty communicating with or fully understanding. This is someone with a tendency to either act or say things without exactly fully thinking about them. And that's not because this is someone with bad intentions, but it is that it seems they're not fully connected with their emotions, and they may not fully understand what it is they really feel and what it is that is true to them. So there seems to be this push and pull of them picking up on their feelings a little bit and acting on that, but then not being fully connected with their feelings, so acting hesitant or pulling back or going back and forth or constantly changing their mind. You may have felt a bit breadcrumbed by this person, or misguided in some way, like they were showing interest in you, but then if you would take a step towards them, maybe pulling back instead. It just seems a bit like there is some frustration that stems from some time ago, or stems from some kind of pattern that was being repeated. I feel like this is not going to be someone you just met a few times and then... I mean, it could be, but it's the energy seems a bit exhausted almost. Like you have thought about this a lot, or this has been discussed a lot, or you've wondered about this a lot. Something about it seems a bit blocked, like something remains unresolved. Like there hasn't been closure, and maybe that's why this energy is coming through, because with this 11th house energy, I think this person does wonder about you and does think about you. And I feel like their experiences or what they've seen has been making them more wise. They have been growing in some way, emotionally. It seems like there is an energy of this person becoming more mature, especially emotionally, and feeling like there is two versions of this energy coming through almost. So I feel like this represents a change in this person's way of being and way of communicating and way of showing up in relationships. You may have met this person when both of you were quite young, or when they were not even like young in a body, physical age sense, but maybe just emotionally young, emotionally... like they hadn't been challenged emotionally before, or they hadn't been confronted with someone who felt deeply, who cared deeply, and your energy was kind of a surprise. It was kind of out of the ordinary. I think this is someone who still feels fond of you. Even if you haven't been in contact at all, there is a bit of a nostalgic energy to the well, because wells run deep and it's water, and water is emotion. And with this water above, wind below energy, I feel like it's kind of this sense of what if, or this sense of wonder. This is not someone who wants to harm you or who has wanted to harm you, even if this connection has been frustrating or difficult or confusing at times. Right now, they may be someone who is doing well for themselves in their life, and maybe in the past they were in more of like a survival mode energy where they were more focused on maybe work or school or other things that they had to do, getting a house, like paying rent. It seems like their priorities were elsewhere, and that didn't really give them a lot of time, enough time to sit with their feelings and think, or really like sit with them and feel them. Like, it almost seems like for this person, they would have to focus on their feelings. They would have to really think about their feelings, like sit with them to know what they're feeling. They're not the most easily emotionally expressive, but also not necessarily like someone who hides feelings on purpose. So it's a bit of a complicated energy of this back and forth, hot and cold hesitation, more so because they don't have a lot of experience. They didn't have a lot of experience emotionally. Or if this resonates with you as a current energy, it could also be that this energy is more recent than something that happened a long time ago. But there is that sense of like a connection that runs into the past. But that could also be indicative of, if that is something that resonates with you, something to do with past lives. I personally don't know what my stance is on this yet, but I am open-minded to it. So if that is a concept that resonates with you, it could also be indicative of something before this life, or like a sense of feeling like you knew this person from a previous life, or they just seem so familiar even if you never got too close to them. Or if you did, it seems like this connection would have been cut short, or it didn't end up going as deep as it could have. This person, they would tell you that they appreciate your patience with them and that they have missed you. For some of you, this person could have seen like a photo of you or heard about you from someone, or seen even like signs, synchronicities, maybe your name. But there is a fondness, there is a tenderness. They would tell you that they didn't mean to hurt you, but they feel like they have. This person is coming through as someone who holds themselves accountable for how they acted, but someone who also realizes this accountability has come with time. It wasn't always there. And that's why maybe in the past they couldn't really account for their behavior, or they would run if you tried to confront them. Or they would act like they don't feel anything. They realize they've been confusing. They realize they have cared about you deeply, even if you never got very close to each other. For some of you, both of you could have like moved on. You could have gotten into other relationships. You could be with other people right now. But there is a sense of gratitude. There is a sense of like, this person would tell you they haven't forgotten about you. And like, I'm not getting any like possessive or like anything that would breach any boundaries that you may have right now. Like if you are in another connection, it's not so much an energy of this person wanting to interfere with your life, but yet feeling drawn to you, but respectful of any boundaries that may be in place, if there are any boundaries. If you're not with someone, just ignore that message, obviously. But if you are with someone, or they are with someone, I feel like this, or in any case, this energy is coming through very respectful. This person would tell you that they have grown up a lot. They have had to. And they've definitely messed up a few times. And there's a bit of an energy of like, you told me and I didn't listen. If there was something that you told this person about or something you saw about them, but they didn't really get it, or they denied it. And for example, this could be something like you telling them, I see potential here, and this person saying, no, I don't, even though maybe they did too. They just couldn't fully see it or accept it, because I feel like this person was someone coming through with a lot of fear, a lot of question marks, a lot of insecurities when it comes to not just them, but not just in like relationships, just overall. So maybe that's what made them escape a bit more rather than pursue, or pursue a little bit and then escape. They would tell you that they know they've been confusing. They know they've been frustrating. It's a bit of like almost a playful energy of, how did you put up with me? So there is that, it's not coming through as like a mean-spirited energy, that playfulness. I feel like it's just an energy of maybe this person accepting that in the past they didn't really know better, but now they feel like they do. And it's kind of this distant sense of shame, maybe, for how they acted. A bit of embarrassment. But it's not coming through in a mean-spirited way towards themselves either. It's more understanding. It's more looking at it from a bird's eye point of view. It's admitting where they may have gone wrong and hoping that you would also see that they didn't mean anything bad, or they didn't mean to lead you on, even though maybe at the time they knew they were leading you on or giving you the wrong impression. I feel like they would highlight that really was not their intention, but that was the best that they could do, because there was this conflict within them of like, yes or no, stop or go. It's like a green light and then they just can't take the leap. That's what it feels like. The hesitation is coming through very strongly, but now it seems like they have had time to process that, to see their fears more clearly. Maybe they were afraid of being intimate. They were afraid to explore a certain part of themselves. For some of you, this could have been a matter of this person feeling hesitant to explore their sexuality, or that this connection would bring forth an aspect of their sexuality that they hadn't really met before, or focused on before, explored before. And if this is not a romantic or sexual connection, it could be that this person just did not have many experiences where they were free to express their emotions, where it was safe for them to do so. So they would tell you that it's not your fault. And this experience certainly wasn't because you weren't good enough. They would tell you that they think you are wonderful, beautiful inside and out. And they saw that too. It wasn't that they couldn't see it, but it seems more so that part of them felt they wouldn't be able to do that justice or match that energy. I want to get into the tarot now. It's kind of abrupt, but tarot. We will also actually maybe look at this card before we get into the tarot. You are the first pile I'm filming. I'm filming in reverse again. I don't know why. I just felt like it. But let's see what we have. The letter O could be significant, or the year 2000. But old feelings are resurfacing, and again you find yourself, or 2010. Old feelings are resurfacing, and again you find yourself on an emotional roller coaster. Don't fight it. Instead, allow these feelings to surface without judging them. They are neither good nor bad. They are simply a part of you. Own them, embrace them, and love them. Blessed apart, past, and be grateful for the deep and profound healing that is taking place. Part. You could have been neighbors for some of you. Part. For some reason, I'm stuck on the word part. Or like, it's making me think of departures as well. Like at an airport. One of you could have moved somewhere else. And they could have for some of you, this person could have ghosted you or just kind of disappeared out of your life suddenly with not much explanation. And I feel like if this person has dropped the line of communication with you, or this was a case of ghosting or something initiated by them, they have been reconsidering, like they've been looking back into the past and their past behaviors, and there is a sense of guilt. And I don't think this person is at a place where they criticize themselves for how they feel or how they acted in the past, because it seems like they have learned from this experience, they have processed it, or they have been processing it. They seem to be in like an accepting space of what has happened, but they also seem open energetically. Like it doesn't seem like they are very rigid about anything in this connection at this point, or they're like very like their guards, they're not up, it seems. They're kind of more open and honest, and we are looking at what it would be like to have a heart-to-heart conversation, but their energy already itself, it doesn't feel like I have to kind of put it into that scenario, let's say, the way it would be with someone that is maybe more guarded, doesn't want to share their feelings, doesn't want to open up. I feel like this person is quite open in energy and welcoming. Let's get into the tarot, and before we do that, I will quickly talk about what we are looking at in the extended, because every time I haven't said it in somewhere in the middle of the reading, I forget. So we will look at what you need to know about the future of this connection and what is shifting in this connection. We'll see what comes through. We will get tons of channeled messages from the person on your mind, like the kind of a continuation of the heart-to-heart, but we will use the channeled messages deck and the channeled messages bag. And then we will get some advice for how you can navigate these energies or this situation. And the link will be down below. Okay. End of announcement. Pile 3, pile 3. What would this person say? To my pile 3s if they could. What does this person say? We have the Emperor coming out. Aries energy or season could be significant, but I feel like this really speaks about this person taking responsibility. They would take responsibility for their actions, for how they have made you feel, because they feel that they have been reckless. We have the Knight of Wands in reverse. They have hurt you, even if that wasn't their intention. They realize it was a byproduct of how they acted and maybe how they, I'm hearing chickened out, of maybe giving to this connection, or maybe chickened out of a, and I'm only saying chickened out because that's kind of, I feel how this person would define it. Like they kind of wanted something, wanted this connection, wanted to experience it, but they were scared of what might go wrong, of them not being good enough. And now they feel more grounded in themselves, and they would tell you, looking at it from this perspective, they can see that they went wrong. But they also seem to think you were different people then, or at least they were a different person. They seem energetically matured or aged in some way. And if this is not because a lot of time has passed, a lot of experiences have passed, it could be that this person had kind of like a wake-up call, or had an experience or a string of experiences quite fast that kind of changed their perspective about themselves. Because I feel that this person has been working on themselves, and I think they would tell you they see things differently now. Even if that doesn't change the past, even if that doesn't change the confusion and maybe the stress that this situation has caused you, even if it has been disappointing that it happened the way it did. We have the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Five of Swords in reverse. They would, I feel like they would ask that you approach this peacefully, even though they know they cannot tell you how you should feel, and they can't. You are free to feel anything that you feel, and it is all valid. But I feel like this person really admires you, really respects you. If they have seen you grow in some way. Like it could be that you started a business. It could be that you, if this was a long time ago, you now have a family. You became a parent. It just seems like they see you. They would tell you that they see how much you have grown as well, how much you have grounded yourself in you. And that is admirable. I feel like this person would look at you with a lot of admiration. And a lot of admiration for like the life that you have built or have been building. It's a bit of an energy of like there's a tinge of I always knew you could. I always knew you would. I always knew you had it in you. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. No, we have to continue from this side apparently. Can we clarify the Ten of Pentacles? I think this person would tell you that they are sorry, and I think it would be sincere. I think it would be genuine, because I think they do realize they have put you through turmoil when you had good intentions with them. You weren't trying to hurt them. You were trying to hold space for them, it seems, while they were going through this confusion. But it seems in the end, they were more fearful than certain in themselves. And they would take responsibility for that. We have the Four of Swords. We have the Ace of Wands. They would tell you that they think you are inspirational. I was already feeling this before, but I wanted to get extra confirmation, I guess. And if the situation calls for it, I think this person would be attracted to you either energetically or physically or emotionally, whatever the previous attraction would have been. For some of you, it could be that if the circumstances are different now, they've changed, it could be that this attraction remains at like a friendship level, or just like I would enjoy being around you kind of thing, because this person does feel fond of you. They are drawn to you. I'm hearing what you've done with yourself is exceptional. It's remarkable. And I'm hearing this in a very kind of like a London accent. I think I'm not the best at deciphering accents. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse. And we have the Empress. Clarifying the Emperor. Bottom deck energy is the Sun. I think this person would tell you that they feel they are the reason why this situation didn't become what it could have. And they would say that it really could have been something had they acted differently, had they been a different version of themselves then. But I don't think this comes from a place of pain. I think this comes from a place of this person accepting that that just wasn't who they were then. Leo, oh, my voice. just cracked. I think maybe that would be a bit like they would be a bit nervous or blushing, especially if the circumstances call for that. But I was going to say Leo energy could be significant, as well as Taurus and Libra. The Queen of Cups in reverse. There's a bit of an energy of this person's voice shaking a little bit because they do feel really bad towards you, in the sense that they feel really bad about how they made you feel. And I think if you would tell them like that they really hurt you, or that you still feel negatively towards them, if that is how you feel, I feel like this person would feel quite disheartened and disappointed by that, but I also feel they would understand, because it seems like they maybe really didn't, or they feel at least that they didn't do right by you. There is an energy of self-sabotage with this Ten of Swords in reverse, a chance, an opportunity that was lost because they didn't really think before they acted. But again, it also seems like they weren't quite in a place to think a lot before they acted. So there is a bit of shame, a bit of guilt, a bit of, I hope you can see past my mistakes and see that I am a person that has been growing, that still is growing. We have the Page of Pentacles. And you didn't deserve what I did and how I acted. You deserved better, but I didn't think it would be me that could give that to you. That's what's coming through. This person feels like they've made certain decisions, like a string of decisions that just made this connection fizzle out or fade out or switch direction. Like it all became kind of uncontrollable. Yeah, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And I feel like there is a sense that it just was unfortunate how it all played out. If they didn't communicate certain things to you, if they left you in the dark in that sense, in confusion, in a fog, I think they feel quite bad. Like they feel remorseful about that. But there is also a sense that, again, I did the best with what I could at the time. But they realized their behavior made them lose this opportunity, what you could have been building towards. Is there anything else that wants to come through for my pile threes? All right, I think this is where we will take it to the extended. If you're meeting me there, I will see you in a little bit. If not, I hope this reading was helpful. I am sending you tons of love. Take care and bye.